what's your assessment of the quarterbacks? I know I asked this of you 2 weeks ago, but I'm wondering if you've grinded anymore. And now, I mean, I see so many of these evaluations where Cam Ward or Shedeur is number one, and somebody even thinks the Giants will trade up, things of that nature. What's your opinion of the quarterback group here, Mike?
Well, to oversimplify, I think that Cam and Shedeur, in whatever order, are 1 and 2. I don't think you can put them in the top 4 from last year. I thought Bo Nix might be an interesting comparison for Shedeur. I think both of them are going to have to go to a place that's a good fit for them. Realistically, Rich, you can go back over the last 20 years and look at the NFL draft in the first round at quarterbacks, and at best, it's a 50-50 proposition. And most of it's because kids get pushed up higher than they should go, and there's a bad fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Bo Nix was so interesting to me last year. I don't think I gave him enough love last year. He was a better quarterback than I thought he was. But most importantly, he went to a coach and a system that was a really good fit for him. They surrounded him. They put an infrastructure around him, not unlike Minnesota did with the USC retread this year. Thought Kevin did a great job supporting that situation. So for me, I think quarterbacks probably go too early most of the time, but most importantly, it's about the infrastructure and the fit. And if you don't make that kid, if you don't look at the kid in Carolina right now, you know, he played a little bit better this year, but it was a stark comparison to him and CJ Stroud in year 1. And, you know, you look at Jaden Daniels, what a great fit. What a great job they did. I think Caleb Williams is just as talented. Be interesting to see what happens there. So, I mean, that's my diatribe on quarterbacks and where they end up, and you know that most of them get pushed up higher than they should go.
And so, who's currently right now sitting atop your draft board? Who's number one? Who's the best prospect that you think is available?
I'll put it this way, and you'll laugh because you've heard me say this before, but
yes.
I think Cam Ward has the higher ceiling, and I think Shedeur has the higher floor. So, you know, Cam to me is a little bit more of a, I don't want to say boom or bust because I don't think he's a bust, but he's got a chance to play at a very high level because he's very gifted. I think Shedeur is a little bit more like Bo Nix, where he's really accurate, really smart, good decision maker, needs to get to the right place where they take advantage of those things. Because I thought he did get in some bad habits in the pocket in the last 2 years with that awful offensive line in front of him. So, what is interesting to me, Rich, is behind those two guys. You know, I think the kid from Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, has made up some ground. He can spin it, and he's not a great athlete, but he's not a bad athlete. Jalen Milroe is the guy that has first-round talent all over him. Big, strong, fast, big arm, but had a bad year this year. Too many question marks. I'd love to get him in the second or third round and have no pressure to play him, put him in a system behind, you know, like Green Bay's done the last several quarterbacks. You know, sit a guy for 2, 3, 4 years, let him absorb it and learn from it, polish his craft, and come out and start 3, 4 years into his career. That's the guy that I'm intrigued by.
And what about overall? Throw defensive players in, everybody in, at the entire draft in a hat. Number one atop your board is who, Mike?
Number one with everybody, it would have to be the corner / wide receiver from Boulder. I think he's rare. I think he's special. I think you and I could have a great conversation about the running back situation in the NFL, and has that changed? The undervaluing of running backs because of what happened in free agency a year ago, you know, with Saquon and Josh Jacobs and the kid in Baltimore and the 7th round pick for Joe Mixon. But that's a way of saying Ashton Genty to me from Boise. Man, is he fun to watch. I love his tape. I think he's special. I think his contact balance is rare. I think he's a first-round running back. And then the two guys that I love watching, Rich, are Abdul Carter from Penn State.
He's amazing.
Who I think is a high-level edge rusher day one. And there's a kid at Georgia that reminds me a little bit of Micah Parsons. and his name's Jalen Walker. And two reasons he reminds me of Parsons. One is in base defense, he's an off the ball linebacker, just like Micah Parsons was at Penn State. And then when they go to sub, he lines up anywhere from the A gap out to the 9 technique, the wide defensive end. But what he does best is explosive and rush the quarterback. So those two guys, Jalen Walker and Abdul Carter coming off the edge, they get me fired up.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.